In the previous video, I explained the 6 yogas of Naropa of the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. This video explains the practice system of the Gelug school of Tibetan Buddhism. The Gelug school was founded by Tsongkhapa. He established the practice system of the Gelug school. It consists of the creation stage and the perfection stage. The creation stage is the practice of meditating on the mandala. You meditate on the mandala as yourself and as the deity. For example, the 5 Tathagatas shown in the center of the mandala represent the 5 aggregates: form, sensations, perceptions, mental activity, consciousness. There are 4 kinds of mandala meditation. The way of meditating on the mandala by classifying each element of the mandala into 100 clans. The way of meditating on the mandala as the 5 Tathagatas. The way of meditating on the mandala as the 3 clans of body, speech, and mind. The way of meditating on the mandala as the 1 Vajra and as oneself. Next, I will explain the effects of meditating on the mandala. The winds in Tibetan Buddhism are like the concept of prana. The winds are the vehicle of your mind. And the winds are attached and bound to people and things outside of you. By continuing to meditate on the mandala as yourself, you will be able to collect the scattered winds, or mind, and keep them to yourself for a long time. When you are able to meditate on a clear mandala for a long time, you are ready for the next step, the perfection stage. In the perfection stage, you manipulate the winds. The perfection stage is done in steps, in the order of body isolation, speech isolation, mind isolation, the magic body, the ultimate clear light, and communion. First, I will explain the first step, body isolation. The purpose of body isolation is to bring the wind into the central channel, which is normally hollow. The training method for bringing the wind into the central channel is to meditate on a drop at the lower door of the central channel, the tip of the genitals. In addition, there is a way to meditate on the mandala within the drop at the lower door of the central channel. And you meditate on the mandala as yourself. By meditating on the drop at the lower door of the central channel, and keeping the mind on that drop, the winds flowing in the left and right channels, that is, the mind, are collected in the central channel. This allows the winds to enter the central channel, which is normally hollow. When the winds enter the central channel, you feel bliss. Then, I will explain the next step, speech isolation. There are knots above and below the heart chakra. They block the winds. And, in the heart chakra, there is an invisible indestructible drop. There, the superconsciousness sleeps in an inert state. The purpose of speech isolation is to open the knots above and below the heart chakra and to gather the winds around the indestructible drop in the heart. The first method of practice is to meditate on the Tibetan letter A in the heart. The winds gather where the mind is centered. So, by meditating on the letter A as the indestructible drop in the heart, the winds gather in the heart. The next method of practice is the Vajra recitation. What the winds manifest at the level of the gross body is the breath. So, the Vajra recitation is the practice of consciously manipulating the winds by breathing while chanting the mantra. First, while chanting Om, inhale and imagine pushing the upper winds down to the center of your heart. Then, while chanting Ah, hold your breath and imagine holding the winds in the center of your heart. And, while chanting Hum, exhale and imagine pushing the lower winds up to the center of your heart. Repeating the Vajra recitation opens the knots above and below the heart chakra. The Vajra recitation should be practiced day and night. By continuing to practice the Vajra recitation, breathing itself becomes the Vajra recitation, and the Vajra recitation becomes unnecessary. In addition, the inner fire also burns through the Vajra recitation. By repeating the Vajra recitation, the winds are kept in the central channel. Then imagine the fire burning through the winds below the navel. And, by contemplating sexual intercourse with the visualized consort, the fire burns more and more. The heat of the fire melts the white drop in the head, which is called Amrita. And the white drop drips down through the central channel. With the drop, the winds, that is, the mind, can be more closely united with emptiness. Then, I will explain the next step, mind isolation. The purpose of mind isolation is to dissolve the winds, that is, the mind, into an indestructible drop in the heart. Then, the mind approaches emptiness and the clear light. Tibetan esoteric Buddhism teaches that everything arises from a foundation that has three aspects: emptiness, light, and wisdom. First, through Vajra recitation, gather the winds and the drops into the heart center. Then, without thinking, bring the mind closer to emptiness. When the winds dissolve in the heart center, bliss arises. Then, when you feel bliss, unite bliss and emptiness. And you can understand emptiness through bliss. In Tibetan esoteric Buddhism, this is called the wisdom of bliss-void union. When the winds dissolve into the indestructible drop and the mind approaches emptiness, a white vision appears. This is called luminance. Then, a red vision appears. This is called radiance. Then, a black vision appears. This is called immanence. Then, the metaphoric clear light appears. The metaphoric clear light is like the sun hidden in the clouds. And there are still subjective and objective views in the metaphoric clear light. Then, I will explain the next step, the magic body. The purpose of the magic body is to create the astral body of winds from the metaphoric clear light. The astral body is incomplete and temporary, and it is called the impure magic body because the passions are in the astral body. When you have mastered mind isolation to a certain degree and can approach emptiness during waking hours, you can use sleep to attain the magic body. This is because in sleep, as in death, you lose your senses and approach emptiness and the clear light. Before falling asleep, gather the winds and drops in the center of your heart. Then, unite bliss and emptiness, and approach emptiness. And mix the emptiness of waking with the emptiness of sleeping. Then you experience the metaphoric clear light, and the astral body arises from the metaphorical clear light. Then, I will explain the next step, the ultimate clear light. The purpose of the ultimate clear light is to completely dissolve into the clear light in order to create an immortal astral body. So, when you do astral projection, you should try to make the objective clear light appear. To do this, contemplate that your astral body is the deity. Then, meditate on emptiness. When the objective clear light appears, you should repeat the holistic holding contemplation or the serial dissolving contemplation, respectively, to enter into the clear light. In the holistic holding, contemplate the clear light emanating from the heart of the astral body. Then, press the astral body into the clear light from the crown to the feet. In the serial dissolving, contemplate that the whole world around you is dissolving into the clear light. Next, contemplate the astral body yourself, dissolving into the clear light. When you completely dissolve into the clear light, there are no subjective and objective views. It is called the ultimate clear light. Then, I will explain the next step, communion. The purpose of communion is to create an immortal astral body from the ultimate clear light. When you dissolve into the ultimate clear light, where there are no subjective and objective views, your rebirth-causing compassion is purified. And the pure magic body called the rainbow body arises from the ultimate clear light. The learner's communion is the step where a pure magic body has been created, but there is still more to learn. And then, by creating the pure magic body from the ultimate clear light several times, one can be liberated from rebirth. This step is called the non-learner's communion, because there is nothing more to learn.